Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 173, and California's burning. It's on fire. It's the end of the world, and it's an apocalyptic, you know what I mean? Like, we thought it might have been done and over with a few days ago, but it still burns on. And so the Palisades, and now more acres and acres and hundreds of houses and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of damage has already been done. Fire crews have been working around the clock nonstop for these last couple of weeks. If you are a human alive on the planet, you've heard about these fires, especially not even here in this country, but others. And so it's one of those natural disaster phenomenons that we see, and this is probably going to be up there as one of the biggest ones, just due to the amount of value and property damage that has been caused for the lives of hundreds of thousands of people out in the wonderful state of California. It's insane. It's an insane thing that's currently happening. And so a lot of people, a lot of the residents who are there in California are blaming their Mr. Newsom. And so Governor Newsom, you know what I mean, love him or hate him, is kind of sort of in charge of preventing these types of things, okay? We see Trump on the news a few weeks ago, you know, or like from a few years ago when he was first president, telling Newsom, look, you gotta spray down the forest, you gotta make them wet, you gotta do controlled burns, you gotta do what they do out in the other places, because that's how you prevent these things from happening. We have to prevent what happened in Maui here in the United States, Mr. Governor Newsom. And so what then ended up happening is he said, yeah, okay, maybe I'll get to it later. I'll do it later, dude, is exactly what he said. And so now we've ended up with the simple algebra equation of wind plus dry trees equals massive forest fire.
What are we doing?
And so basically thousands of acres burn. I mean, it's a huge percentage of the state. This should have happened. We apparently had the water reservoir has no water in it because it should have. The fire hydrants have no water. LAPD is arresting what is seemingly looks like homeless people starting other fires around the state. You know what I mean? It could be, could be a sleeper cell, could be government agents, could be other countries trying to infiltrate the United States system, starting the fires out in California. But for all we know, the homeless of California are also starting fires to, like, you know, produce more chaos and just add to the ever-growing natural happening forest fire that's occurring in the state of California. And so no one seems to like Mr. Newsom right now. And I mean, to be honest with you, he kind of looks like someone you can't really, he doesn't look like a guy you can trust, okay? Look, this is Newsom, okay? And he's now just bending to the knee. Whatever we want to know is, as the United States American citizens people, he's now going to give us, because it's the only thing he can promise.
Investigation into the issues around water supply that we've seen. What are the questions that you're hoping to answer?
The same ones you're asking. Same ones that people when I'm in the streets are asking, yelling about. What the hell happened? What happened to the water system? Was it, and by the way, was it just overwhelm that you had so much that was used, we drew it down? Was it pipes? Was it electricity? It was a combination of pipes, electricities, and pumps. What was that drawdown impossible because you lost 7,000+ structures right here anyway?
Blame it on everything but yourself. Put the blame on things you can't blame on yourself, like the pipes and the wind and Mother Nature. Put the blame on anything but yourself, because it is your fault and it always will be. It is your fault and it always will be. Let's keep on
these
blaming.
independent investigations or calls for them, are you passing the blame on to other people?
How could it be when we're doing an independent investigation and we just want the adjudication of the facts? As I say, it's not about finger pointing. It's about answering the questions you and everybody wants answered. And I think there's a propensity to wait to answer those questions. And people want immediacy. They want response and responsiveness. And so that's the idea.
Thanks for watching.
Bring it back and say the same thing you said in the very beginning once again to prove your point.
What are we doing?
And, you know what I mean, dude? So he looks like a guy you can't really trust, okay? So it's Gavin Newsom's fault. Nobody likes him, and apparently it's all his fault. So if you want to blame anyone for your favorite celebrity's house burning down and or your own, blame either the windpipes or Gavin Newsom. And of course, you know what I mean? Because this is how things work in the United States of America, and how they just don't seemingly seem to work this way in every other country on the planet. But of course, the United States is unique in the sense that, you know, just simply months before, seemingly somehow months before this major natural disaster has occurred and is still currently happening now as we speak, it would be fine and dandy. It would be great because everyone, mainly in that area of California, the Palisades, Los Angeles, most of those people for their entire lives have had fire insurance via their homeowners insurance policy. And so most people will be fine, except for the one small minor fact is that pretty much every major insurance company decided it was time to cancel those fire insurance policies about 3 months ago.
What are we doing?
And so now the people whose houses burned down are just left with a big pile of ash. There's nowhere for them to go because all of their friends' houses burned down. And there's nowhere for them to go because all their friends and family's houses burned down and all their family members' houses burned down. And so no one, where do you go? The hotels are overflown. No one has any money. Like, what do you do? I understand that, like, it's a tragedy. And, like, sometimes when a single house burns down, it's kind of sort of a situation where, like, yeah, we'll figure it out. And then it gets done and whatever. And we get through the situation. But what the fuck do you do when over, like, I don't know, 10,000 houses in one small single, more than that, burned down? Schools, restaurants, establishments, buildings, recreation centers, houses, commercial and residential property is just gone. 500 billion, almost just upwards of $800 billion worth of damage.
What are we doing?
What do you do? What do you do in that situation? Everyone has to now just like relocate. You can't rebuild a house there. What are you going to do? Rebuild a brand new house with a bunch of ash and rubble around you? How are you supposed to live in that entire area now? So now all those, we have to find new places for those people to go. They have to somehow figure out down payments for an apartment or a house or something. Like, I mean, some people aren't necessarily financially well off. So shout out to the insurance companies that canceled 80% of the fire policies in California as of 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Hey, Luigi's not looking so. Shout out to the insurance companies. It's you guys in 2025.
What are we doing?
And so, and with this devastating news, of course, this last couple of weeks, all of the property and the damage from this ever-growing nonstop of a fire. We've got to make some drastic moves in the marketing plan and just everything else going around the releases and things happening within the California area. And one of the most important things that was supposed to happen, I think it was supposed to happen today, was the release and premiere on Netflix of With Love, Meghan. And so, unfortunately, we're not getting it, okay? Meghan Markle didn't think twice about postponing this week's release of her new show, With Love, Meghan, amid the series of wildfires ravaging her hometown of Los Angeles. You know what I mean, dude? Hey, all of your friends can't get together and watch your brand new show as it premieres on Netflix if none of their houses still exist.
What are we doing?
On January 12th, just 3 days before, exactly. So tomorrow it premieres. Wednesday, it should have premiered tomorrow, the 15th. January 12th, 3 days before With Love was due to debut on Netflix. The Duchess of Sussex announced that the premiere was pushed to March 4th. So now we've got a new date, March 4th. Mark the Cali Cow. Put it in the iCalendar and make sure your notifications are on because March 4th is when it officially drops With Love, Meghan Markle on Netflix. Okay. Meghan's decision to postpone her show has been widely met with support in response to critics questioning her motives for delaying the launch. An industry insider reveals that the decision was an easy one, driven by her general concern for her hometown and those impacted by the fires. Okay. Delaying the release of With Love, Meghan was likely an easy decision for her. I don't think she could imagine putting out a show centered on joy and hosting when so many people in her home state no longer have homes to host people in. An industry insider tells People magazine, I think it's sad that critics are saying she's only doing it to avoid the fire's overshadowing of her show. We're all human and we're dealing with a catastrophe. Hey man, listen, if there's one thing people need right now because they're sad as shit because their house just burned down, their $500,000, $700,000, $900,000, $10 million house just burnt down. What they need uplifting. They need hope and joy.
What are we doing?
They need something like With Love, Meghan on Netflix. We've got to watch it. Release it. It'll make us happy. The only reason you wouldn't release a show in a time like this is if the critics were correct and Meghan doesn't want the news about the fires to overshadow the release of her show. But what she doesn't understand is that the loyal fans, aka us, will come through and we'll put it on repeat. We'll watch it through and through, and we'll make it the #1 Netflix show in 2025 so far. So I guess we have to wait. I don't know. I'm going to text her, but if she doesn't respond, we're probably going to just have to wait for the March 4th release of the show. You know what I mean? And hey, thank goodness with all these California fires going on, thank goodness Ellen DeGeneres is in the UK, okay? If Ellen would have been here, it probably would have been tragic. She might have been one of the folks who have been, a victim of the fire. So thank goodness Ellen and Portia got out of the conch. News report says they might have been back. I don't know. They probably left again as soon as the fires broke out. I highly doubt if Ellen DeGeneres doesn't want to be in a country where Donald Trump isn't even president yet, I highly doubt she wants to be in a state that's like half on fire.
What are we doing?
So let's pray. Let's all right now take a moment and pray for Ellen. Let's make sure her and her wife are safe. Let's make sure that any remaining people on her staff are safe and or with her. She probably left them all behind, but who knows? And let's pray she's safe in the UK or wherever Ellen is in the world. Where in the world is Ellen? Let's take a minute and let's be thankful that Ellen is where she is and just kind of, with us in spirit and just kind of here. And we know it's Ellen, dude. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
So, of course, with any natural disaster in the United States, whether it's North Carolina or Florida or New Orleans or California wildfires, whatever the situation may be, we get the inevitable. We get the inevitable. We get the inevitable president of the time at the podium letting us know that anyone who was affected, anyone's house who burnt down, anyone who can't get any of their shit back, anyone whose dog died, who had to pack up and leave because of this natural disaster that we probably could have prevented, but natural disaster nonetheless. You can all go, if you can find a library or a computer, if you have a phone still, who knows if it has service or if it works, you know what I mean? Figure it out, get online, go to a website, fill out a form. You're going to get your one-time payment. Biden said it 3 times to make sure you understood that it was a one-time payment of $750.
What are we doing?
So, you can buy water and groceries and get other immediate necessities for you and your family, because when you're in this moment of need, because your entire house with all of your belongings in it no longer exists and just burnt to a crisp down to the ground, the thing that you probably need most is that $750. So get online, get your payments now. I'm pretty sure the floodgates are open for that. So go if you were affected. We should have a link in the description down below for you to acquire any funds if for whatever reason you're seeing this instead of the official announcement or anything else related, because for whatever reason you landed here. So you're welcome. Head on over to that website if you've been affected by the forest fires. You can get your $750 from Daddy Joe. One more time before he's on his way out.
What are we doing?
Dude, the fire system's so bad. Listen, the fires are so bad in California. The Ukraine is sending help. The fires are so bad that President Zelensky has called upon his own Congress, his own government, to send their firefighters, the Ukrainian firefighters that are over in Ukraine, presumably fighting the war they're supposed to be fighting right now, to help us. The country that we just got done sending another $500 billion bag to is sending us help now. You know it's bad when we get to this point.
Внутрішніх справ України і нашим дипломатам підготувати можливість участі наших рятувальників в боротьбі з пожежами в Каліфорнії. Там дуже важка ситуація, і українці можуть допомогти американцям захистити життя. Зараз це опрацьовується по відповідних каналах. Ми запропонували нашу допомогу американській стороні. 150 наших пожежників вже підготовлені.
And so for those of you, unlike myself, who didn't take Ukraine as a language in high school, I will go ahead now and translate exactly what the President Zelensky just said. So Daddy Z said basically this. Today, I instructed Ukraine's Minister of Internal Affairs and our diplomats to prepare for the possible help and sending of our recruiters in combating the wildfires in California. The situation there is extremely challenging, and Ukrainians can help Americans protect lives.
What are we doing?
This matter is being worked out as we speak, and through appropriate channels, we have offered our assistance to the American side of things. We already have 150 firefighters ready and prepared to send to help fight the fires in California. So listen, hey, listen to me. Hey, what it can't be when the country when the country that we've been sending all of our money to, when the wildfires started, we sent Ukraine another $500 billion.
What are we doing?
We sent them $500 billion at the end of last year. We sent them $500 billion over the summer. We sent them $500 billion the year before that. We sent them $500 billion 3 months before that. And the United States citizens continuously just have to go through tragedy and natural disaster after natural disaster, receive checks for $750 cash.
What are we doing?
So we've got 150 Ukrainian firefighters ready to go. We've got the Mexican government hilariously sending over firefighters to help us. Of course, we appreciate the help. We need all that we can get. We're releasing prisoners from the prison system to go help fight the fires in California. So essentially everyone but the people who should be fighting the fires and preventing fires in California are there attempting to put out the fires and doing their best to save as many lives as possible. So shout out for all the help from all the countries surrounding. Shout out to our friends in the Ukraine, the prison inmates who are risking their lives putting out the fires. It's an insane situation as this tragedy just doesn't seem to want to stop.
Erupted overnight in Southern California. This one is called the Auto Fire. It's now at 0% containment. Wind gusts today could reach hurricane force, up to 70 miles an hour. A rare type of red flag wind warning also in effect in LA and Ventura counties until Wednesday because of those winds, threatening more new fire outbreaks, spreading the Palisades and Eaton fires. I spoke to the LA County Fire Chief on Monday. Are you worried that these new winds may undo the progress that you've been able to make?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If we get a new fire start in a different location, it could be very difficult to contain.
CNN's Michael Yoshida is live for us in Altadena. Michael, good morning. What are you seeing there, and what have we learned overnight?
Hey, good morning, Casey. When you talk about that new fire popping up, just to put in perspective, that's about an hour west of us, but it's the perfect example of that concern that officials have been talking about and why over the last day, throughout the overnight hours, as our team has driven through the Palisades, through Brentwood, here into Altadena, we've seen so many fire crews staging, pre-positioning, trying to be ready for if one of those new sparks, those flare-ups happen so they can quickly get a handle on it. Now, while we have that ongoing concern and threat of those fires and new fires this morning, I'm not sure if you can hear, but we have a lot of work happening here in this Altadena neighborhood. Utility crews, gas companies, others hard at work trying to begin some of that repair work. Obviously, as you can see behind me, this, as we've been talking about, one of those communities that's been just devastated by the Eaton fire. You can see some of the lines as well still hanging down. Just an example of how much work is ahead for
It'll never recover. It'll never recover. It might be impossible for some areas of that state to ever recover.
What are we doing?
And so that's the state of it. And so at the same time, not only are we battling now, of course, with the insurance companies for fire insurance in California, it's a never-ending battle against the healthcare industry, and that's one of the main arguments of the week. We are constantly, as United States Americans, battling with the healthcare and the insurance companies there. We're constantly battling with the federal constitution and how things are run there. When we're federally battling, we're always battling back and forth with insurance companies, whether it comes to our house, our health, our car. They never make it easy for us to live, but we can fund war after war after war after war and send this and do that and do this. And so with the never-ending burning of California, on the opposite side of that, we have none other than our white knight in shining armor, YouTube's #1 star, Jimmy Donaldson, MrBeast, trying to single-handedly take on the United States healthcare system. Not the Luigi Manasconi way, but the proper, I'm a YouTuber, look at me, we should do it this way, my way kind of way. And so he's gotten into a heap of news this week, of course, when he released yet another video of giving 2,000 amputees the ability to walk again. So he found 2,000 people who, for whatever reason, only had one leg. And then MrBeast came in with whatever sponsor he must have gotten for the video or his own money, whatever the situation was, and paid for the surgery and everything they needed to make sure that they got the leg and then they could walk yet again. Thank you, MrBeast. And so within that video and within a few Reddit posts on YouTube's official Reddit page and a few others, MrBeast made a big stink about how, like he always does, about how it shouldn't have to be up to him to fix these types of issues in the United States healthcare system.
What are we doing?
A YouTuber shouldn't have to bring this much recognition to the fact that these 2,000 people should have had their legs and physical therapy services paid for by the United States government years ago. And so here he is now, and he just continues to try and sort of push this message with his Beast philanthropy. And so is it for those of you who don't know, because what I've discovered is my best friend Paul, and I'm sure amongst a few other people, don't actually know who MrBeast is.
What are we doing?
And so, you know what I mean? Usually MrBeast does like, I put 7 people in a porta potty, last one to leave wins a Bugatti kind of situation videos. But sometimes over on the Beast philanthropy page, he finds 1,000 people with one eye. He finds 1,000 people with one leg. He finds 27 people with no teeth. He finds 35 families in South Africa and builds them a house. His Beast philanthropy videos are all about helping people, doing better. He's got a food pantry. He does the whole 9 yards when it comes to the charity. So in his most recent video, he decided to make an extra bit of a stink about the United States and the healthcare system. And we love him for it.
Guys, I wanted to end this video a little differently than normal. And I wanted to say that the fact that some of these people had insurance and were denied, some of these people had insurance but didn't have the right coverage,
Denial.
It just doesn't sit right with me. Their only hope right now of getting a prosthetic leg so they can walk again, so they can go get a job, is for a YouTuber to step in and help them.
Wow.
Which is absurd. I don't know what the answer is, but I wanted to say this so the 100 million people watching this can get inspired, because what I saw when filming this video is just obviously not okay. So anyways, thanks for watching. Guys.
Dang, MrBeast coming for the United States government.
What are we doing?
Dare I say Jimmy Donaldson for president? Okay, I think he said he was going to try to run. Okay, or if anyone honestly thinks that we'll probably ever elect MrBeast as president of the United States, I would literally probably jump off a building.
What are we doing?
If that were to actually ever happen, which I don't think it would. Okay, so MrBeast, he's here and he's continuing his message that he feels so disgusted that he lives in a country where there's so much wealth, and yet the YouTuber, we have to rely on the YouTuber to pay for and get these people approved and make sure they have the leg and things and done and services they need to walk again. And some of them have insurance that denied them for the same service. I mean, dare I say, hey, if I swear to you, this is a hot take, long shot future prediction, but if one day Luigi Maniscalco ever gets acquitted or found not guilty on the charges that he's currently sitting in jail for, if he were to ever be so lucky, 1 to 3 years after the dust settles from that whole decision, he's in a video doing something with MrBeast.
What are we doing?
I mean, it's a wonder MrBeast hasn't 3D printed something up and waited outside a hotel room at 6 a.m., if you know what I mean. So it's a constant struggle of back and forth feelings against MrBeast. Is he a genius because of Beast Games and Feastables and the products and the sponsors and the YouTube growth? Or is he this terrible person who People just get hurt. Another person just came out yesterday and said she was hurt on a MrBeast video. They're claiming they're not getting food again. He came out on the show and kind of like sort of like didn't like kind of proved all of that wrong. So who knows what's going on, if MrBeast is a good guy or a bad guy, or if he just wants to put 9 people in a log cabin for 14 days and the last one to survive wins it all.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? So we'll keep an eye on MrBeast, but he's currently right now, as his Beast Games is growing. We haven't watched it yet, this Beast Game show. I definitely want to. We're probably going to wait so we can binge the whole thing. I hate waiting. I'm a binge baby. So like, we're probably just going to wait a few more weeks and then watch like the whole thing. I also love spoilers, and I've seen half the freaking clips on TikTok already, of course, because that's just how the world works. And speaking of TikTok, everyone is preparing. Everyone is getting ready, because if we're not worried about the fires burning down our homes, we're worried about our favorite app, our current obsession, our lifeline. If you take it away, we're dead, bro.
What are we doing?
I don't know how your household's going to handle it, but there's one, if not multiple people who live in this house who's going to have a problem if TikTok's banned. Listen, what I need everyone to understand about this TikTok ban is it's not just going to go away, okay? We don't have details. We don't know what's actually going to happen on January 19th. All we know is come January 19th, the app just won't be available to download in the App Store anymore.
What are we doing?
That's it. So if you already have it on your iPad, if you already have it on your iPhone or your silly Android device, your TikTok's most likely after January 19th still gonna work. As long as the servers that reside here in the United States are still on, the feed will still most likely continue to scroll. I don't know if you'll be able to upload new TikToks, but like the TikTok app, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but come January 19th, I don't think it's going to just go black. So everyone needs to just calm down a smidge. And then once we're done calming down a smidge, what needs to happen next is, what I need everyone to then second-handedly realize is Red Note and Lemonade aren't the answer.
What are we doing?
If you're an idiot who made a Lemonade or a Red Note account in the last 72 hours because you think that's where the mass exit is, listen, the fact that there is a single, probably 1 to 3% of Americans who have downloaded, they're like the top apps right now. They're the top free apps in the United States App Store, are these Chinese, 100% Chinese apps that they use over there in their country, that we think America is going to turn into the next TikTok. And newsflash for everyone who's got it on their phone, it's not it, babe.
What are we doing?
First of all, they are Chinese apps, meaning they're controlled and monitored under the laws of the Chinese government. So all of your bikini videos, all of your low-cut chest shirt videos, all of your thirst traps, all of your LGBTQ plus videos. If you're a trans person, I'm not hating. I'm just saying that's the rules over in China. They will put you down. Your videos will come down because they have rules. Their people can't post it. You can't post it. That shit will not be found on any Chinese servers whatsoever. So basically, hey man, it's not it. We're not learning Mandarin. Get off of the Red Note app, dude. If you think that we're using, by the way, people, hey, by the way, Red Note isn't their version of TikTok.
What are we doing?
It's like their version of Yelp and Pinterest, dude. They use it for like restaurant reviews and finding businesses. And like some people put makeup tutorials on there, and that's about it. And so the hypocrisy of the United States government thinking and knowing it's fine whether TikTok is stealing the data of the United States citizens or not, we're all okay with it. There's not a single person other than maybe 12 of you within Congress who thinks that it's a terrible, terrible thing to have TikTok on our phones while we sit on the furniture that was made in China, wearing the clothes that were made in China, on the phone that was made in China, the tech and the Wi-Fi running the house made in China, all of the equipment that we use to get on the internet made in China. Look on the back of your wireless router. Does it say made in China? So what? Does China have your fucking Wi-Fi password, dude?
What are we doing?
While I lay on the mattress made in China that I bought from China, like, listen, what is the hypocrisy of the government of the United States is banning TikTok, and then its citizens single-handedly thinking that the next best thing was to go to an even more Chinese-controlled application.
What are we doing?
I mean, it speaks numbers to our citizens, but it also speaks numbers to the government in various ways. If you know what I mean? You follow me there? So basically, what I need everyone to do is just calm down and relax. We've got some senators in Minnesota or Milwaukee or wherever they're from trying to put an extension on it. We're trying to get that ban pushed 270 days. If we can get the ban past Donald Trump's inauguration, then we have a very, very high chance of the app staying in the United States.
What are we doing?
Because once Trump's inaugurated and he's officially the 47th president of the United States, people like Kevin O'Leary or MrBeast or people who are serious like me thinking about buying the application can then directly work with the president once again. What's stopping TikTok from being blocked right now is the fact that this administration wants it to happen. The reason it's happening on the 19th is because Donald Trump is president on the 20th. And so if it happens beyond that, Donald Trump has a way to stop it, much like he probably will. Much like Donald Trump hasn't even been inaugurated. He's not even the 47th president of the United States yet. And he's already pretty much made the phone calls he needs to, I don't know, stop the genocide over between Israel and Palestine.
What are we doing?
According to inside sources and some higher ups in the federal govs, we've got good word that Donald Trump has already made the steps that he needs to make in order to get Israel to stop blowing up children.
What are we doing?
And vice versa. I'm not saying the other side's not doing it, but I'm not saying neither side's doing it, dude. So don't come, I'm just saying he's already kind of, listen, Gulf of America, hey, welcome, Canada. You're the 51st state, and we're going for 52 because Denmark's in with us. We're probably buying Greenland. It's monopoly, bitch. You don't pass 200, and you don't get 200 when you pass go.
What are we doing?
And that's it. And that's the only way that you have to think of the next 4 years of this country. We need to put all of your money in crypto, and you need to fully understand that Donald Trump is treating the world like his monopoly board, and we're buying property, and we're putting hotels up over here in Greenland, and we're putting houses over here, and we're selling off California because it's a wasteland now. We don't want to give it back to Mexico if we can have Canada.
What are we doing?
So the TikTok ban has people losing their fucking minds, you know what I mean? And so, speaking of people losing their minds, the Joe Exotic saga continues. So, according to, again, my inside sources, not a lot of people watch the Tiger King documentary, okay? Over COVID, people were doing a handful of other things when it came to their time home, alone, at home, not working because they shut the conch down.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? And so when that was happening, we were busy watching the Tiger King. Megs and I watched it twice. We know everything it says. We know the situation. We follow it well. That's why I'm still talking about Joe Exotic till this day. But for those of you who don't, let me give you the quick rundown. Joe Exotic got caught. Murder for hire plot against Carol Baskin. He was mad because she was coming after his tigers. She went to the authorities and said he doesn't treat his tigers right. Authorities came and took his tigers. He got pissed. He tried to get her tigers taken away. He said she fed her husband to one of the tigers. She got pissy at that, got another one of his tigers taken away. So then he said, bitch, I've got $500 in a bag of Coke and a guy with 13 teeth in his mouth who's going to come stab the shit out of you.
What are we doing?
And now he's in jail for a murder for hire plot because, of course, it didn't go through and little buddy went to the authorities and said, this is what Joe Exotic said. Whether he said it or not, I don't know. Joe says he's innocent. Of course, here we are. And so through the years, Joe Exotic has been attempting to get whatever president is in office, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Democrats, Republicans, to pardon him as a felon because he believes and has the evidence that he is innocent. And so Joe Exotic is should be released from federal prison via a presidential pardon. And so what he has discovered is it is not so easy getting the attention of the president of the United States. So what Joe Exotic has concocted is a plan to do the next best thing. Who's best friends with the president of the United States? Podcasters. Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan. Let's get their attention. This is attempt number 3. Here we go. Joe Exotic has done the unthinkable. He has done the unthinkable in the sense that he has teamed up and partnered with, get this is real. I'm not fucking joking.
What are we doing?
Joe Exotic has teamed up with Brad Nash. Brad Nash is the owner of Love Ford out of Henrietta, Oklahoma. And Brad Nash, on Joe Exotic's behalf, is 100% prepared to either deliver Joe Rogan this used soft top convertible Ford Bronco or this cherry red Ford F-150 with the upgraded rim kit. And by God, if I was Joe Rogan, I'd pick the truck.
What are we doing?
If Joe Rogan will agree to have Joe Exotic on his podcast before January 20th, so Joe Biden still has time to pardon him. Joe Biden is pardoning everybody. He's pardoning so many people. He's pardoning everybody, his son, his family members, people who have
What are we doing?
He's pardoning this guy, that guy. He's pardoning everybody under the sun. And Joe Exotic wants himself to be one of those people. And so in order to get the federal government's attention, he's trying to bribe the #1 podcaster on the planet, Joe Rogan, with a used Ford Bronco or a used Ford F-150. And if Joe Rogan agrees to have Joe Exotic on his podcast before January 20th, by the way, Joe Exotic's in prison. He can't go in person. He can't do video. He can only call in. Joe Rogan doesn't do remote interviews, bitch.
What are we doing?
And I don't think, I'm just taking a shot in the dark here. I'm taking a wild guess, and I'm going to see if it sticks to the wall, but I don't think Joe Rogan is at all interested in a used Ford pickup truck.
What are we doing?
Brad Nash with Love Ford out of Henrietta, Oklahoma, offers to hand deliver either one of these vehicles to Joe Rogan and hand him the keys and the title of the vehicle if he allows him to be on Rogan's podcast before January 20th to discuss Joe Exotic's case and pardon live. Rogan gets to choose which vehicle Rogan can accept by direct message to Joe Exotic, Twitter or Instagram. Joe Exotic will connect the two men, and the support around the world is growing for the pardon of Joe Exotic, from Nigel Farage in the UK to Matt Gaetz to Joe Rogan and Donald Trump Jr.
What are we doing?
Joe Exotic. I'm sorry. I got the whole thing wrong. Joe Exotic wants this other guy to go on Joe Rogan's podcast and deliver him a Ford F-150 truck and then be on Joe Rogan's podcast, presumably talking for hours on end about how the federal government and the president of the United States should pardon Joe Exotic as a criminal. And this is his plan. And I mean, hey, if you want to talk about a good plan, then this is the way to go. This is what I do.
What are we doing?
If you want to get the attention and be in front of Elon Musk, you hand deliver him a unique, one-of-a-kind Tesla that he's never seen before. And I highly doubt Joe Rogan's ever seen this light blue piece of shit looking Ford Bronco or this cherry red piece of trash Ford F-150 before. And if I got one of those, I'd let you on the pod. Come on for an hour. If I get both cars, come on for 2 hours.
What are we doing?
And then we'll go out back and we'll blow them up because that's all they're fucking worth. You know what I mean? So Joe Rogan is attempting, and I mean, they know. Joe Rogan and Joe Exotic and Theo Vaughn know everything about, they know everything there is to know about Joe Exotic. Listen to this.
Whoever is letting him fucking...
They're talking about Joe Biden right now.
People.
Some of the guys said they don't want the pardon. You see that?
Bro, he's pardoned more people than anybody ever by a long shot. He's got Alzheimer's.
Tiger King too, somebody said.
Oh, he better pardon Tiger King.
I think he did. Didn't he just somebody said he just pardoned him.
Did he? That can't be real.
Joe Rogan just said, and I quote, "They better pardon the Tiger King. I would have busted 18 nuts if I was in my prison cell and found out as Joe Exotic that Joe Rogan just said, and I quote, they better fucking pardon the Tiger King."
I saw that it's a little overinflated because of all the marijuana charges that got added in because they
Tiger King
threw all those people in. No, and Joe Biden's pardon.
Oh, I want to see that mad
but
slurper get
that's
back
a good
out.
thing that he's doing that, but it's still he's still pardoned more people than anybody ever.
Bro, when Tiger King gets back out here, fucking wait, America.
He'll be a guest on this podcast with a knee brace, pistol on his hip,
with that whip.
Yeah. He'll try to fuck Jamie for sure.
Oh, he's gonna fucking slurp on somebody, dude.
He again lobbies for presidential pardon. Jamie, what are the odds this guy tries to fuck you if we bring him in the studio?
No way.
It's 100%.
No way.
Not that he's going to fuck you. No way would he.
Yeah. I'd be the first one on his list. I know all the people in the building.
Yeah.
Jamie is the biggest homophobe.
What are we doing?
Calling it right now. Jamie would be cemented to his seat if the Tiger King, if Joe Exotic gets pardoned and let out of jail, and then somehow the stars align and Joe Rogan and Joe Exotic are in person sitting down for a podcast, Jamie will be cemented to his seat. He will not get up around Joe Exotic. He will not be anywhere near the Tiger King. If Joe Exotic tries to flirt with Jamie, oh my God, it would make him deathly uncomfortable.
What are we doing?
Yeah, you're the guy
There's
who
a
moves
couple
on.
other people.
No.
We'll hold him back by the hips. We'll have ground.
He moves on you.
We'll have side control on him, but
he moves on you. You're a nice guy.
I shaved my mustache.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. The mustache.
Not good.
He's trying. He's trying, but they're not going to let him out. And maybe they should. I don't know.
I wonder if he got out of this, wonder what kind of job he would get into. They're not going to let him work offshore or whatever.
Stuffed animals.
You
sell his own stuffed animals. Yeah, open his own Build-A-Bear, Build-A-Tiger. You know?
He's just in there helping you stuff it.
Yeah, you stuff it, and then the little recording thing, when you have the little thing in there where you press the button and it gives a little recording. When my kids, I used to have one for
I'm
one
doing
of my
it.
daughters.
I'm doing it. If Joe Exotic, mark my words right now, if Joe Exotic gets out of prison, the #1 attraction that he needs to add to his zoo is a Build-A-Bear feature woodshop. You can just go get a shed down at Home Depot for like $800. Put it all in the shed. get the loose stuffed tiger, get a stuffer machine from like a rundown Build-A-Bear, and get the little recorders. I want a stuffed Tiger King, Joe Exotic Tiger, and when I press his paw, I want him to say, I'm never going to financially recover from this.
What are we doing?
And so I'm going. I swear to God, if they ever let Joe Exotic out of prison, now they hopefully probably never will, but if inevitably when the stars align, because ladies and gentlemen, we've got Donald Trump as president again. We've got terrorist attack. We've got Elon Musk, crypto. We've got so many things wrong with this country. We've got a homeless epidemic, an insurance epidemic. There are people who can't afford their groceries, their bills. People can't afford houses. We just had someone we know just tried to put their house on the market and buy a new house, and they couldn't even do it. They took it off the market because of how expensive houses are now. Interest rates are high, banks are high, credit scores are down. The country is at kind of an all-time, kind of a little bit of a low right now. And the number one thing that we would just accept if it were to happen in this country would be the release and return and the re-rise of Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
What are we doing?
Does he have any new music out? I think he has new music out, doesn't he? He's definitely got new music. Where's it? Is there a new song? I think he's got a new song. Here, wait. I think this is the clip with his new song in it. Here's another new song by Joe Exotic. Is this it? Yeah. Here we go. Here's his new song. Ready? This is a new song, brand new 2025 Joe Exotic. Here we go.
This is Joe Exotic, and I'd like to dedicate this song to the world's biggest podcaster, Joe Rogan.
Tiger King behind them bars.
The biggest podcaster, Joe Rogan.
Locked up, but he did no harm.
Get it.
A wild fight in a savage land. Justice lost its purpose and Joe sits there, no fault to find.
Wow.
Innocent in everybody's mind. We can't let his spirit break.
I mean, if you want to get my attention, sweetheart, all you gotta do is write a song from prison and then dedicate it to me, and I'm yours, princess.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? We have got some serious... If Joe hasn't heard that yet, I don't think Joe Rogan's heard that. I think he knows of Joe Exotic. I think he knows he wants his attention, but I don't think Joe Rogan's heard that song. So Joe Rogan, rewind 10 seconds and listen to that masterpiece, babe. You got to make some calls. Make some calls to Zaddy Trumpets. Get this guy out of here. Let's get him back on the streets. Let's get him repopularized. We need Joe Exotic back in the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Listen, we've got to stop. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I'm a fan of it. And I don't think we're doing it right at the Jimmy Fallon show. I think we've got to stop with Fallon. We've got to stop putting YouTubers on the Jimmy Fallon show, okay? With this whole thing that we're trying to do to blend TV and YouTube and the internet and Jimmy Fallon with the online personalities, you know, where we got Rhett and Link and the Costco guys and like other YouTubers and social media stars. I'm done with YouTubers on Jimmy Fallon.
What are we doing?
They're not because YouTube is different. We can take breaks. We can pause. We don't really do well with live interview. YouTubers on late night TV never seem to work. And when we woke up this morning to the latest and greatest Linus Tech Tips, I mean, we kind of sort of were like, hey, what's Linus doing?
What are we doing?
And you know, like, do you know who did this best? Ellen. The Ellen Show. We're bringing her up again. God love her. God save the Queen and Ellen. We love Ellen for the simple fact that she had the format down. When she had YouTubers and internet people on, it was one thing. And when she had celebrities and media trained people on and her friends to do bits and stuff like that in interviews, it was another thing. Because she knew how to handle both sides. But what happens when we bring the YouTubers onto Jimmy Fallon, it just kind of becomes this weird, kind of, sort of, it's supposed to be this serious thing, but it's half a bit. It's kind of not a bit, but like we're making it one because there's jokes. And I don't know if it's like one of those things. And also, so right, listen, here's the situation. You have Linus Tech Tips, the tech guy. He's on Jimmy Fallon. He's showing him all these cool new things from CES. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, just happened last week. All the latest and greatest tech things that are coming in the near and potentially impossible future are at CES that you can see and play with and touch and see what's, possible with tech in 2025 and beyond. And so Linus is on Jimmy Fallon showing him some of these things. But the main question I have is, what the fuck is Bad Bunny doing?
What are we doing?
We create these pairings because we have to promote so much shit. We have to create so much shit within a span of 45 minutes because we got 15 minutes of commercials. So we've only got 30 to 45 minutes of actual show from Jimmy Fallon. And when we have to promote sponsor and do this bit and make sure Bad Bunny has airtime because he just dropped an album and this person needs to promote this. And we've got Linus coming on to do this bit and this and that. We have to fit in so many things at once. It becomes this kind of convoluted mess to the point where we have ourselves questioning, what is this tech YouTuber coming from the 51st state of America, aka Canada, doing on Jimmy Fallon with Bad Bunny?
What are we doing?
I love Linus Tech Tips, and I think he absolutely killed it. Let's take a watch.
Have you ever, you're sitting there, you're getting some work done, and looked down and thought, a few more inches would be nice?
Every day of my life!
What are we doing?
God, the writers are good. They're good. They're good writers.
Bad Bunny, can you do the honors for me?
I don't.
Oh no, what?
Yeah, almost too many times.
Can you press this button for me? Right here, this one. I want Bad Bunny to do it. This one right
I
here.
want Bad Bunny to do it.
Yeah.
Me?
Let go.
Look at this. So Linus is showing them a laptop that extends its screen vertically, aka a product that will never come out or be released for the mass public to buy.
What are we doing?
The mechanism won't work properly. They'll break constantly. The rolling screen technology is still in beta form. This laptop will never be something anyone watching this will be able to buy at all. And so
I saw
once again, we've wasted, and now, we've got a second product. Look at these glasses. Here we go.
You guys put them on? Okay, so yeah, sunglasses.
Ooh.
You guys ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so what if you're in a bit of a different mood? Okay? What if you're wearing a different outfit? You need to change them up. Jimmy, can I So go ahead, there's a button on the right by your temple. There you go.
Shade changing glasses. Shade changing glasses. You go like this and boom, you have a brand new pair of glasses. These, once again, for the second time in this segment, will never be something anyone actually buys.
What are we doing?
My prediction. Hot take. It's a hot take prediction. And I think that's it. What else does he cover?
Hold on.
Glasses that just project the screen. Those are nothing new. He reviewed those last week. So shout out to Linus. We love Linus. I don't love him on Jimmy Fallon. I don't think it's the format. We love him on the YouTubes. We love him over on his channel. We love everything he does there. I just don't. There's 1 degree off for me. There's 1 degree off for the YouTubers entering the late night space, especially Jimmy Fallon, with the amount of cringe and everything else that Jimmy Fallon just doesn't bring to the table for the amount of money that he's paid per episode. Jimmy Fallon is probably one of, I think, maybe, shout out to Linus for doing a good job, but I hate him. Worst decision. I hate you, Jimmy Fallon.
What are we doing?
That's all. I think it's just hatred towards Jimmy Fallon. Is it because he got my last episode I covered him in taken down? Yeah, probably. But that won't happen this episode because I'm smarter now. And basically, it's a big F you to Jimmy Fallon. So shout out to Jimmy Fallon. Shout out to Linus. I hate his show. I just don't like the Jimmy Fallon show. I don't know why. It's not funny. The bits aren't funny. I don't buy it. I don't like it. It's just one of those situations where it just is so overplayed and it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Much like this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Levi McCurdy. Shout out to you guys for watching this episode. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check the description below for any links you might need to see. And everything else that you need is on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. If it's still legal in this country, follow us there. We'll have episodes coming every week this year. Be on the lookout for that. We've got some special guests planned. We've got some new things for the new year ready to go. And we couldn't be more excited for 2025. I hope your January and your new year is off to an incredible start. I hope you got good news already this year. We're 14 days in, and if you haven't busted a nut already, do it. If you haven't invoiced at least $1,000 to make yourself already a day this year, do it. You're slacking. Get on the grind, get on the side hustle, and start making money. If you haven't done and put in 13 to 37 hours of your passion into it this year already, get started and do it. Wake up. Winter's over. It's time to get back to work, folks. It's time to breathe again. Get back on the grind, start making content, start putting shit out, start doing what matters, start making money, start being a boss, and start being you, babes. I love you all. It's another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. I can't wait for 174 next week. I'm on my way to Buffalo, New York right now, okay? We're going to be 20 minutes from Niagara Falls, and I may or may not get in a bucket and hop the fuck over because I'm kind of done with all this nonsense. So be on the lookout for content from the trip. It's going to be a killer time. We're going to blistering cold Buffalo, New York. We've got some meetings up there. We've got some business to take care of. And then, of course, we're probably going to go to Niagara Falls because that's what you do as tourists. And we want to scope out what will most likely become the 51st state of the United States. Shout out to you guys. See you next week. It's on you. Peace out, everybody.
What are we doing?